back to the official Sasquatch and Squirrel Show. Today, we're going to talk about the origins of Thanksgiving.
Turkey Day.
Turkey Day. Do you have any good, fond, or not so fond memories of Thanksgiving?
Man, I tell you, I have been blessed with a good family.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up, my grandmother always threw basically a Thanksgiving dinner, a Christmas dinner, Sunday dinners, just like we always get the family together, like got everybody together for Thanksgiving and Christmas. But Thanksgiving was always very, it wasn't too big of a deal for us, but it was like just a family tradition. We always go to my grandparents' home. My grandmother would be cooking, and it'd be too damn cold to go outside and play or anything like that because Nashville and it's cold up around this time of the year.
'Tis a frozen tundra.
Well, it wasn't like too bad around this time of the year, but it's just like it's starting to get chilly in me at the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's just coming out of fucking summer and all that right here. So it's like transitioning into winter.
Mm-hmm.
And I just didn't like being cold. So I was like, no.
Right. Yeah, no, I
And
don't.
also, too, going over to her house, like she had this wonderful fucking hill to go over
Mm-hmm.
and play on. And I enjoyed climbing that hill, but generally the only time that we would go to Thanksgiving dinner would be at nighttime.
Right.
So,
Yeah. I don't necessarily remember a whole lot of things. I have a big family. I'm the youngest of 9 children, but they're all scattered all over the place, and I don't really have a lot to do with any of them. You know what I mean? So it was just usually me, my mom, and my dad.
mhm.
And I didn't really remember Thanksgiving until I got like in my teens. It was after my father passed. And
Right.
I just remember it being another day. But now as an adult, because of my culinary background, and you know how I feel about Thanksgiving, it's my jam. I like making all the food and everything.
Hmm.
So it's it's always a fun time for me. I enjoy it now, more as an adult than I did as a kid. So,
Right,
because
right.
Christmas I could care less about. So this is Halloween and Thanksgiving are my jams.
Yeah. And I understand that too. Like those are my two favorite holidays as well because, to me, just like you said with Halloween, it's the most fairest time of the year in my opinion. And
Mm-hmm.
Thanksgiving, you can, you know, take it or leave it. I know not everybody has the best of family life and all that right there, but
Mm-hmm.
just the whole thing about being together with people. You don't have to necessarily be together with family. You can be together with friends and shit like that. So
Well, yeah, I mean, a lot of people are doing Friendsgiving now.
yeah.
That's
And
cool.
you know what? Sometimes your friends treat you better than your family, so I can understand that.
100%. Everybody has their favorite holiday, but so are you're familiar with the origins of Thanksgiving? There's always, two sides to everything, right? So, well, it's actually three. There's their side, that side, then there's a truth.
Right. Well, hold on. Let's see. Is the origins of Thanksgiving where the pilgrims invited the Indians out to dinner and everybody had a good time together and that's Thanksgiving and it just like kept traditioning over and over.
No, it's not. Um,
Gasp.
I know. Shudder to think the government lied about some shit.
I'm telling you.
Everybody knows that the story you learned in kindergarten was the Pilgrims immigrated here from England for religious freedom, but they actually went to Denmark first, and they found the religious tolerance they were looking for there,
Mm,
but they didn't have the economic growth that they were wanting.
right.
So through a company that was already here, because the country was settled about decades, if not maybe 100, 200 years by that point.
Yeah, wasn't it like 1492 when the first pilgrims hit?
No, that
Or
was
Christopher
yeah.
Columbus?
Christopher Columbus was allegedly that time. So about almost 200 years exactly.
Yeah.
So
At least that's what they say.
yeah, that's what they say. But no, I mean, did they? Well, maybe back then because I think they would have been probably better record keepers than we are today.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah, possibly. Who knows? We weren't there. Mind your business. So in 1690, allegedly hit, in Massachusetts area. That's the kindergarten version, which is they did, and then
Plymouth Rock.
Plymouth Rock. Yeah. Well, and they also, I think the reason why they named it Plymouth was because they named it for Plymouth, England, where they came from.
Sure. I mean, a lot of old city names from back in the day, like York
Mm-hmm.
and things like that. They named it New, whatever the hell it was.
Yeah,
New York, New Jersey, whatever.
New Blucka Flucka.
Right, pretty much.
So, anyways, the Pilgrims got sick, and the Indians helped them because they didn't know how to plant. They didn't have any resources. So the Indians helped them out eventually, and then they had one year they had a really good harvest, and the story is they invited them over. Everybody knows that.
Hmm.
It actually a little bit different than what it was told. They were having a celebration for the harvest. They were firing pistols in the air, and the local tribe that they had befriended came and with about 90 people.
So they didn't invite them at first.
No, they didn't.
Mm.
So the tribe came over to see what all the goddamn white people were doing.
Fucking crackers.
Fucking crackers. And anyways,
we keyed.
we keyed. But no, and it was so they're like, oh, cool, you guys are having a party. Here's 5 deer that we killed. And then it just turned into a bender for about 4 or 5 days, and everybody had fun and was eating and drinking and playing games, and everything was cool. And then as time progressed, more people started coming across the Atlantic, and things started to change.
Yeah, of
And
course,
not in a good
people
way.
start to spread out and colonies started to get settled and shit like that. So,
Well, yeah, and it actually kind of kicked off because of what was that guy's name again?
Squanto.
The interpret Squanto. That's the guy. Thanks. So he got enslaved and shipped to England, escaped, came back. So in that time, he had learned English pretty well and learned English custom.
Gotcha.
So he was invaluable as a interpreter. So as time progressed, he got tired of the way that his chief was doing things, and he planned this coup, and he almost got away with it, but he got caught, and then
Off with his head.
off with his head. But no, so the colonials didn't want to give him up because he was an interpreter and of high value. But then they said, you know what, he kind of did some wrong, so they gave him to the chief. The chief killed him, and then that chief died, and then his son took over. Then, because at this point there had been some mounting tension between the natives and the colonizers. Somehow the chief's son got killed, and then his predecessor, it kind of kicked off, and they started raiding, and people like the natives got killed. Then it just went back and forth, and it just got out of hand, and then it all fell apart, and that's how it went. And people were just basically being greedy dorks.
Mm-hmm.
So
Now, fast forward a little bit.
mhm.
George Washington was actually the first to actually sign Thanksgiving as the Thursday of the last Thursday of November to be, Thanksgiving.
Mhm.
And the way that I read it was it happened right after the American Revolutionary War ended.
Mhm.
And basically, the Thanksgiving was they were giving thanks for the war being over.
Correct.
It was kind of weird.
Mhm.
The first Thanksgiving proclamation was on actually October 3rd in 1789,
Okay.
but that's when he actually designated it to be on November 26th
Mhm.
as the National Day of Thanksgiving. But
Right.
yeah, it kind of got a little wish washy in there.
Mhm. So fast forward a little bit further to like Abraham Lincoln era.
Hmm.
There was a woman. Her name was Sarah Joseph Hale,
Okay.
and she ran a magazine, and she was constantly writing. She wanted to make Thanksgiving a national holiday, and this is right around the time that the Civil War was happening. So Abraham Lincoln took it upon himself to say, hey, you know what? It's a good idea to maybe bring the country back together after this long, it was like a 5-year war. And they were able to ratify this thing and make it, a national holiday. But I think back then there was two. It was in August and then in November. So obviously the one in August kind of fell off. And
Yeah, it petered away quick.
yeah, and it was because, like who wants to afford two Thanksgivings,
Right.
dealing with
Now,
family
don't
twice?
get me wrong. I wouldn't mind eating twice like that, but
Uh,
we got 4th of July. We could eat then,
That's right. Gobble till you wobble, or wobble till you gobble, or some shit. I don't know whatever that stupid
right?
saying is, man.
And earlier, um, you were talking about Sarah Joseph Hale.
Mm-hmm.
It was actually Mary Had a Little Lamb was the one that she was actually one of her famous poems.
Oh, see that? You come here, knowledge bomb.
learning shit left and right from a bunch of damn rednecks.
Hey,
Holy hell.
sir,
Huh?
I am not a redneck.
You're just in denial. It's okay. It's all right. You can be in denial all you want.
The Nile is just not a river in Egypt. No. Anyway, but this is it's just a cute little story about how people killed each other over stupid shit. Yeah. So,
And let's gather family around and,
and talk
give
about
thanks for not killing one another.
exactly. Even though I'm sure people would still do that if they could.
Mm-hmm. Something else I wanted to talk about. We were talking about with presidents and stuff like that. And one president stood out trying to be a little bit of a smart guy.
Marty
He
Pants.
was wanting to, boost sales and shit right around Christmas. And that's where all this bullshit started.
Mm-hmm.
Franklin Roosevelt,
That prick. Okay.
right? He tried moving the Thanksgiving holiday 1 week earlier than normal. So the second to the last Thursday of November rather than the last Thursday of November.
Why?
He was believing that doing so would actually help boost the economy by creating extra 7 days of Christmas shopping.
Okay. That didn't work so well.
No, it actually caused a revolt.
Yeah.
People were not happy with that shit. And he damn near lost his presidency over that shit.
It's like, listen, Skunky, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, man.
Right. Hell, we ain't doing that shit. Hell no.
Hell no. No. Sorry, I'm back.
That's right. You got these moonshine makers that's in the hills of Tennessee. They're threatening to burn down the White House over that bullshit.
Yeah. Well, you don't mess with my damn turkey day, boy. Tell you
That's
what.
right.
Son of a bitch.
What I want to know is, are these so afraid to tell us the fucking truth of how shit happened? Why did they have to make some kind of cutesy fucking story over this shit? Now, granted, not every child needs to know about mass genocide and fucking war and stuff like that. I get that far.
Right.
But, why blur the lines and not tell people the truth? Here's the real story. Now, here's the child friendly version of the story.
Yeah.
But I really do think these are things that really need to be taught. I mean, it's our fucking background.
Yeah, and I think it's like, the recent years where they're tearing down all the Confederate statues. Now, listen, I am not a Confederate supporter. Okay, let me say that. But there was a quote. It says, people that forget history are doomed to repeat it.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not saying that slavery will make a comeback because that'd be fucking terrible.
Yeah, let's hope not.
At least in this country, because God knows it still exists elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what good can come out of, sanitizing said history,
Yeah, no, I do.
but it doesn't. But I guess that, for me, Thanksgiving is about food and family and,
Friendship.
white guilt, really.
Yeah, white guilt.
I'm kidding. I don't have any guilt.
I sure as hell ain't gonna be guilty until I eat too much, and then I'm guilty for eating too much.
It's not even guilty. It's just remorse. Like, goddamn,
I'm hurting.
Did I need to eat a whole pumpkin pie? Yes, I did. Because pumpkin pie is delicious.
That poor toilet. All the porcelain is just gonna be scraped right off that motherfucker.
It's not Taco Bell, dude.
But it could be.
Or are you eating dairy?
Well, that's another story.
Yeah. I mean, your kryptonite is a milkshake.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, let's ixnay on the ilk may. But yeah, for this Thanksgiving, man, I hope now that the political bullshit is over, people can actually put their differences aside and join each other as family. And if you got too toxic of a family, find some people that are your friends and
do a Friendsgiving.
You don't even have to have fucking, turkey. Just go drink a beer with a friend. Have a sandwich or something,
Yeah. It's not even about just, we could have a whole discussion about people and them not letting things go and then just putting more onto things that need to be. It's just that, thank God that shit's over with and everybody can hopefully come back as a nation and get back to and start getting down to business and making it better.
Mm-hmm.
And not argue about stupid shit that doesn't really matter.
Right.
So from us here at Sasquatch and Squirrel, happy Thanksgiving. We hope you have a good one.
100%. Enjoy the holidays. Eat some good food.
Take a nap.
Yeah.
You know,
Don't kill each other during Black Friday shopping.
Just don't
TV
go Black
is not
Friday.
worth somebody's life and getting trampled over.
The 40 cents that you're going to save on that television is not worth it.
Nope. That doctor bill is going to be much worse.
That's right. Where can they find us, Tim?
They could find us at your mama's house this time.
Damn it.
I know.
You beat me. See, I did that to myself.
Stings a little, don't it?
No, not really.
Okay, good. So they can find us at Facebook, Spotify, X, and True Social.
And Rumble.
See? I knew there was a reason why I hired you.
Actually, I hired you, but okay, sure.
Yeah, well.
Won't let the facts get in the way of a good story.
Your in review, sir, is going to be terrible.
Yours, you're just, you need remediation, sir. Put it that way, okay?
No Christmas bonus for you, sir.
There is not going to be any expectations out of you, all right? All right, enough of our bullshit. Thanks for listening. We appreciate you guys. Happy Thanksgiving.
Follow the questions.
Find the truth. Bitch.